Well, the funniest part of all of this is that today's my day off. Sharon has been running well. And I was gonna go to the mountains and I was gonna make tea and I was gonna have a lovely chat about how everything's gonna be okay. And it still is, but then this happened. Fuck yeah. Do we still go to the mountains? I think we're still gonna go. Well, as you can see, I made it. It'll be interesting seeing if I make it home, but we're not worrying about that yet. This week has kind of been an emotional roller coaster, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I don't even really know where to start. So here's the thing. I don't want to portray my life as anything that it's not. I just want to be super real. Because that's the whole point. That trip that I went on, in like my last video, was like this moment of, like, I felt, I can't even put it into words. I feel like the last year has been hard for a lot of people. For me, going on that trip, I felt more like myself than I've felt in a really long time. And it was kind of like this light at the end of the tunnel for like who I wanted to be and what I wanted to be doing with my life, you know? And since then, things haven't gone well, and that's kind of just life and whatever, but I want to be super real, and I don't want to like give this impression that I'm just like living this stress-free, nomadic van life with no struggle. My van broke down on the last day of my trip, and I haven't been able to fix it. I feel like I had made so much progress in 2020, and I saved up enough money to get this van and have that amount of freedom, and I had like a glimmer of it, and I feel like I'm starting at scratch again. Breakfast sandwich. Honestly, I should already be on my way to work, but the lady that I work for is so chill. I do like home care. It's super chill, and I can kind of show up whenever I want during the day. I try to be there at the same time, but she doesn't really care if I'm late, so I'm so grateful for that. Ooh, I hate when my tea thing falls in the water. Ugh. Anyways, I hope you have a good day. Hey. So I did just want to clarify something. My van does work, but there's a but. I've had an issue with stalling. I've been stalling since I bought the van, and the problem has gotten increasingly worse. And also there was one day where it wouldn't start, period. But I was like, I don't know, 2.5 hours away from home and my van wouldn't start. And I thought I was going to have to get towed all the way, like 200 miles. And it was going to cost like my entire left and right arm. And whatever. But I've taken her to a couple mechanics since then. The first mechanic had no notes for me. He was like, I don't know. I was like, great. Second mechanic, within a day, he cleaned off the idle air control valve, and he said that it might help, and it has, I think, a little bit. It's also been warmer here the past couple days, so I think that helps as well. But the second mechanic also just said when he was driving my van, he just feels like the engine is really worn. There's a lot of noises that it makes. And yeah, so it kind of made me feel defeated. It kind of put a standstill on wanting to do any projects in here because my outlook on this whole thing has changed, unfortunately, and I'm not attaching myself to the idea of van life anymore. I don't think it's going to be possible in this van, but that's okay. At the very, very least, at least I'm getting from point A to point B, and I can work, and I'll figure out the rest as we move forward. So obviously, I felt a lot of feelings this week. I definitely want to say too that I'm not just crying about my van. I have a lot of stuff going on in my external world lately. I tend to get rattled when things go wrong, and I think especially with the van, I kind of had attached myself to it in a way. It became like my anchor, if that makes sense. Like it became like the one thing that I had that I could hold on to. And when that started to feel like it was falling out from under me, I think I just completely lost it. And like, it still works, and I'm still able to come to places like this, even if it's just for the day and really close to home. And that's okay right now. I think my whole point of documenting all of this and wanting to share it is I don't want to be posting videos like my last one that kind of just give a glimpse into what my life is, and kind of like a unrealistic glimpse, to be honest. So this is more of the reality, I guess. Also, I'm starting to see my emotions as like waves in an ocean, kind of like an ebb and a flow. And I try to remember on the days that I don't feel very good that it's not going to last forever. And also the days where I feel really good, I just try to be as present as I can in that moment and be so appreciative that I feel that good, because I also know that it won't last forever, and that's just life. And I kind of have allowed myself, given myself the grace to feel sad, but then not getting lost in it, not letting it completely drown me. And I have to be the one at the end of the day who's going to take responsibility for my life. I don't know if it makes sense. It makes sense in my head, so I hope it translates. So I don't really know how things are going to go from here. In some ways, it feels like my van life story started and ended. I know it's not over, but it's, started and ended really quickly. But there's something that inside of me that feels like this is the beginning. Right now, right here, where I am right now, is the beginning. So we'll just have to see what happens, I guess. Only time will tell. But I think I'm gonna go for a hike. I really have to pee though. This video is gonna be all over the place. I don't
Good luck editing it later, Justine. That's the awkward part of making YouTube videos that no one talks about. Hey, didn't really think I'd be hiking and vlogging, but I just had a thought. This hike these mountains are only 20 minutes away from where I live, and it's making me think a lot about finding joy in the life we already have. Finding joy in the life we're already living instead of looking for it elsewhere. I attached myself to this idea of van life and that I could only be happy if I was living in my van, going to new places and doing stuff like this all the time. But like, I can still come here and do this. This is already my life. It already exists. Find joy in what you're already doing, and I think that'll help us move forward instead of getting stuck. Yeah. True vlogger. Help. Can you hear that? Wow. There's like hundreds and hundreds of these birds. But the reason I'm so in awe is because I have... Man, I'm like almost in tears. This is such a roller coaster of a day. What is happening? I like can't keep up. But I have this really strong relationship with birds recently. My weird spiritual like hippie dippy side, and specifically like crows and ravens are something that mean a lot to me. And I don't know exactly what type of birds these are, but they're all black. They look and sound like a crow. It feels significant. And it's just amazing. Without even reading into it at all. It's just nature. Come on, Sharon. Yes! I made it home. I'm also really tired, even though that hike was only like 4.5 miles, but it turned into a very like spiritual experience. I cried like 4 times. Oh my god, I literally can't. I did not expect this video to turn into this, but I'm just so grateful for this life, this weird life that's happening. And I just wanted to say that if you've made it this far, I appreciate it so much. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you next time. I never know when that's gonna be. I'm not consistent. I'm so sorry. I wish I could say I would be consistent, but I'm not gonna make any promises. So I'll just see you next time. Okay, bye.